Hello, welcome back. Once again, this is teacher Jesse, and today I will be discussing with you another topic in math. Today we'll be discussing about division of fractions and mixed numbers. For that, we will have a drill first. Can you add or subtract the following fractions mentally? Use the butterfly method to make it easier for you. I will give you an example first before we start. We have 1/8 plus 1/5. You have 1 times 5 is 5, and then 8 times 1 is 8, and then 8 times 5 is 40. So with the butterfly method, you just add 5 plus 8 is equal to 13, and copy 40. So the answer is 13 over 40. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. 1/9 plus 1/10. Okay, so 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times 9 is 9, 10 times 9 is 90, 10 plus 9 is 19, and over 90 is. Did you get the correct answer? Let's have the second one. 1/3 minus 1/5. Okay, so 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15, 5 minus 3 is 2 over 15. Okay, good. Next, 2/5 plus 1/6. Go. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. So 2 plus 5 is 17 over 30. Wow, what an awesome job. This time we'll have a review on our last topic. Can you multiply the following fractions mentally? Use cancellation to make it easier for you. I will give you an example first before we start. Okay, we have 5/8 times 3/5. So by cancellation, we can cancel 5 and 5. They become 1. So the remaining is, we have 3 over 8. So the answer is 3/8. Are you ready? Again, I will give you a few seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Let's start. 9/11 times 5/9. Okay, so cancel 9s, so the remaining are 5 and 11. Next, 6/7 times 5/6. Go. Okay, so the correct answer is 5/7. Next, 2/9 times 3/4. Okay, so cancel out 2 and then 4. 2 becomes 1 and 4 becomes 2 because we can divide them by 2. And then the common factor for 3 and 9 is 3. Divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we have 1 times 1 is equal to 1, and then 3 times 2 is equal to 6. 1/6. Next, 5/10 times 5/10. Start. Okay, so we have cancel this one. This becomes 1 and this becomes 2. The same. This becomes 1 and this becomes 2. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then 2 times 2 is 4. The correct answer is 1/4. Let's continue. 4/5 times 5 over 4 times 2/5 times 5 over 2. Go. Okay, so cancel out 4, cancel out the 5s. We have another 2s and 5s. So the remaining are all 1. So 1 divided by 1 is just equal to 1. Okay, so the answer is 1. Very good. This time we'll continue with another topic in math, which is about division of fractions. So let's start with a problem analysis. An 8/10 meter of wood will be cut equally into shorter pieces of 1/5 meter each. How many shorter pieces will there be? In order to solve this problem, we can use a diagram. Okay, like for example this one, we are going to draw 8/10. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There are 10 equal parts. And then we are going to shade 8 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next is we are going to identify how many 1/5 meter. So we need to draw 1/5, but there should be equal sizes in terms of the rectangle, the size of the rectangle. So we are going to make use of the same length, the same size, and then we are going to draw 1/5. So we divide it into 5 parts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is shaded because it is given that it is 1/5. Now the question is, how many 1/5 meter, which is as big as this, can we find or can we cut from this 8/10 meter of wood? So by just looking at it, we can easily identify that there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it means there are this one is 1/8 meter, and this is another 1/8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do not include this one because it is not shaded. Only 8/10 is shaded. Therefore, we can conclude that there will be 4 shorter pieces to be cut. Okay? So this is one way of how to solve this problem using illustration. Another is we can also solve the problem through division of fractions. We have 8/10 divided by 1/5. So this will be our number sentence. So what are the steps in dividing fractions? We have step number 1, copy the dividend. So we are going to copy, this is the dividend and this is the divisor. So we just copy this 8/10. Next, step number 2 is change the sign to multiplication symbol. So we are going to change this division into multiplication symbol. And number 3, write the reciprocal of the divisor. When we say reciprocal of this divisor, you just interchange that position of the numerator and the denominator. So 1 becomes the denominator and 5 becomes the numerator. So it means it is 5/1. Okay? And then next, apply the rules in multiplying fractions. So the rules in multiplying fractions is just multiply the numerators, and then multiply also the denominators. So 8 times 5 is equal to 40, and 10 times 1 is equal to 10. And you can simplify this one. So this is 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4. Therefore, we got the same answer as what you have watched in our first solution. We have 4 equal parts and the same. Okay? Or we can apply also a shortcut method of dividing fractions through cross multiplication. So this is another way on dividing fractions. So the last one, these are the steps. So remember the steps: copy the dividend, change the sign into the opposite sign, which is multiplication, and then the reciprocal of the divisor, and then apply the multiplication of fractions. You have numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and then reduce your answer to lowest terms. The other one is much easier and faster, which is the shortcut method, the cross products. So 8/10 divided by 1/5, you just simply cross multiply. 8 times 5 is equal to 40, and then 10 times 1 is equal to 10, which is 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4. Okay, so this is much easier and faster, the cross multiplication. Okay, so this time we will apply those techniques in the following cases, because there are many cases that we will encounter in dividing fractions. We have number 1 is dividing a simple fraction by another simple fraction. When we say simple fraction, we have like for example 1/2. So it is a simple fraction. Dividing a simple fraction by a whole number. So when we say like for example 1/2 divided by 3, so on. Dividing a whole number by a simple fraction, like for example 4 divided by 1/3. And then dividing a simple fraction by a mixed number, like for example 1/2 divided by 1 and 1/3. Number 5 is dividing a whole number by a mixed number, like for example 4 divided by 1 and 1/3. Number 6 is dividing a mixed number by a simple fraction, like for example 1 and 1/5 divided by 2/3. And number 7, dividing a mixed number by a whole number, like for example 1 and 5/6 divided by 4. And finally, number 8 is dividing a mixed number by another mixed number, like for example 1 and 1/2 divided by 2 and 3/4. So these are the cases that we are going to practice or do this in the following or in the next examples. Let's start with case number 1, dividing a fraction by another fraction. So say for example, we divide 1/4 by 2/3. So we can use the cross multiplication. By the way, we can choose any of the method as long as you know how to apply them, and just do not be confused with the use of cross multiplication and the use of reciprocal. So 1/4 time divided by 2/3, so just 1 times 3 is 3 and 4 times 2 is 8, so the answer is 3/8. Next, we can also use the same reciprocal, the use of the reciprocal of the divisor. Like for example, this one, 1/4, and then change the sign into times, and then 3/2. So instead of 2/3, you write and then do not cross multiply. Remember, you just multiply numerators. When you use the reciprocal, 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 2 is 8. You see the same results. Okay, this time, it's your turn. Can you divide this? The first case, I will give you 10 seconds. If you need more time, you can pause the video. Okay, dividing a fraction by another fraction. Divide 1/4 by 1/3. Start. Okay, so by cross multiplication, we have 1/4 divided by 1/3. So just cross multiply. 1 times 3 is 3, and then 4 times 1 is 4. So the answer is 3/4. Did you get the correct answer? Okay, great job. Okay, so moving on, we have case number 2, dividing a fraction by a whole number. Divide 1/4 by 5. So by using the cross multiplication, we have 1/4 divided by 5 over 1. Okay, where did you get the 5 over 1? Since it is a whole number, it is understood to have a denominator of 1 because 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. Okay, so remember that if it is a whole number, you just divide it, you just place a denominator which is 1. So by cross multiplication, 1 times 1 is equal to 1, and then 5 times 4 is equal to 20. So the answer is 1 over 20. Another is by using the reciprocal of the divisor. We have 1/4 times. Since it is 5 over 1, then we get the reciprocal, it is 1 over 5. So 1 times 1 is equal to 1, and then 4 times 5 is equal to 20. The same result. Okay, so this time again, it's your turn. You have 10 seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Case number 2, divide 1/4 by 3. Start. Okay, time's up. So it is 1/4 divided by 3 over 1. So 1 times 1 is equal to 1, and then 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Okay, did you get the correct answer? Great job. Moving on, we have case number 3, dividing a whole number by a fraction. So this time it is the opposite or the reverse of the case number 2. The whole number becomes the dividend, and the fraction is the divisor. Okay, so we have by cross multiplication 5 over 1 the same. You just put a denominator of 1 divided by 1/4. So 5 times 4 is equal to 20. By cross multiplication, 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 20 divided by 1 is equal to 20. So the answer is 20. Okay, or we can use the reciprocal of the divisor. We have 5 over 1 times, so change the sign into multiplication, and then 1/4 becomes 4 over 1. So 5 times 4 is equal to 20, and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 20 divided by 1 is 20. The same results. Once again, it's your turn. Case number 3. Divide 6 by 1/3. Start. Okay, time's up. So 6 over 1 by the reciprocal. This time we will use the reciprocal of the divisor. So 6 over 1 times 3 over 1. So 6 times 3 is 18 and 1 times 1 is 1. So the answer is 18. Good job. Okay. Moving on, we have case number 4, dividing a fraction by a mixed number. Like for example, 1/4 divided by 3 and 1/2. So the first thing that we are going to do is we change this into improper fraction. So how to change? 3 times 2 is equal to 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. Again, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 equals 7, and then just copy the denominator 2. So 3 and 1/2 becomes 7 over 2. And then continue. 1/4 divided by 7 over 2. So just by cross multiplication, 1 times 2 is 2, and then 4 times 7 is equal to 28. Since you can divide them by 2, so 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. The answer is 1 over 14. Or you can use the second method, which is the same. By the reciprocal of the divisor, copy 1/4 and then change the sign into multiplication, and then the reciprocal of 7 over 2 is 2 over 7. So 1 times 2 is equal to 2, and 4 times 7 is equal to 28, and then divide by 2, divide by 2, so 1 divided by 2 is 1, divided by 2 is 14. The answer is 1 over 14. The same results. Again, it's your turn. You have 10 seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Case number 4. Divide 1/3 by 1 and 1/2. Start. Okay, time's up. So 1 and 1/2, we have 1 times 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3 over, copy the denominator 2, so 3/2. So we will use the reciprocal of the divisor. 1, you just copy 1/3, change the sign into multiplication, and just write the reciprocal 2 over 3. 1 times 2 is equal to 2, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. You have 2 9s. Okay, great job. Moving on, we have case number 5, dividing a whole number by a mixed number. Divide 5 by 3 and 1/2. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is the same. You just change this into in an improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is equal to 7 over 2. And then since it is 5, so it means there is a denominator of 1. So 5 over 1 divided by 7 over 2. So by cross multiplication, 5 times 2 is equal to 10, and 7 times 1 is equal to 7. This time it is an improper fraction, so we change this into a mixed number so that we can have our final answer. We have 10 divided by 7 is 1, and then 10 minus 7, you have a remainder of 3. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it is 3, and then copy the denominator of 7. Or, so that you can visualize it, how did we do it? So it is 10 divided by 7 is equal to 1. 1 times 7 is 7. So 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. And then this is the numerator, and this is our denominator. Okay? So we can also use the reciprocal of the divisor. So the same process, 5 over 1, and then times, this time we are going to use 2/7, the reciprocal. So 5 times 2 is equal to 10, and 1 times 7 is equal to 7, the same. 10 over 7 is equal to 1 and 3/7. Okay, again, it's your turn. You have 10 seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Case number 5 rather. Divide 3 by 3 and 1/2. Start. Okay, time's up. So 3 and 1/2 is 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. And then 3 over 1, we will use cross multiplication, divided by 7 over 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 1 times 7 is 7. 6/7 is our answer. Okay, next. Okay, so we have case number 6, dividing a mixed number by a simple fraction. Like for example, divide 2 and 1/5 by 1/2. Okay, first step is we are going to change this 2 and 1/5 into an improper fraction. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Copy the denominator 5, so this is 11 over 5. So by cross multiplication, 11 over 5 divided by 1/2, so 11 times 2 is 22. And then 5 times 1 is equal to 5. 22 over 5, or you can reduce this into, or you can rewrite this as a mixed number. 22 divided by 5 is 4. And then 5 times 4 is 20. There is a remainder of 2. Or we can perform this one, the long division. We have 22 divided by 5 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 22 minus 20 is equal to 2. And 2 becomes the numerator and 5 is the denominator. So the answer is 4 and 2/5. Or by using the reciprocal of the divisor, the same process, except this one, 11 over 5 times 2 over 1. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1. So it is 11 times 2 is 22. 5 times 1 is 5. The same. It is equal to 4 and 2/5. Okay, it's your turn. Case number 6. Divide 1 and 1/3 by 1/2. Start. Okay, so we have 1 and 1/3 is 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4 over 3. So 4/3 times 2 over 1, the reciprocal of 1/2. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. So 8 over 3, or 2 and 2/3. Okay, next. Moving on with our case number 7, dividing a mixed number by a whole number. Like for example, 2 and 1/5 divide by 5. So 2 and 1/5 is 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. And then divided by 5. By cross multiplication, 11 over 5 divided by 5 over 1. Because 5 is understood to have a denominator of 1. 11 times 1 is 11. And then 5 times 5 is 25. And it is in the simplest form. So this is our final answer, 11 over 25. Or using the reciprocal of the divisor, the same process, except this one. We have 11 over 5, change the sign, times. And then instead of writing 5 over 1, we are going to write 1 over 5, the reciprocal. 11 times 1 is 11, and then 5 times 5 is 25. The same results. Once again, it's your turn. You have 10 seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Case number 7. Divide 2 and 1/5 by 3. Go. Okay, time's up. So first, it is 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. By cross multiplication, 11 over 5 divided by the denominator is 1, so 3 over 1. 1 times 11 is 11. 3 times 5 is 15. 11 over 15. Okay, great job. Next, the last case, which is dividing a mixed number by another mixed number. Like for example, divide 2 and 1/3 by 1 and 1/5. So first is we are going to change this into improper fraction. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Copy the denominator 3. Next is 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So it is 6 over 5. Next, by cross multiplication, we have 7 over 3 divided by 6 over 5. 7 times 5 is 35. And 6 times 3 is 18. Or you can write this as a mixed number. 35 divided by 18 is 1, and then there is a remainder of 17. So 1 and 17/18. This time it's your turn once again. You have 10 seconds, or you can pause the video if you need more time. Case number 8. Divide 1 and 1/3 by 1/2. Start. Okay, time's up. So first is we are going to change this into improper fraction. We have 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Copy the denominator 3. Next, 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. copy the denominator of 2. This is 4 thirds and this is 3 halves. So using the reciprocal of the divisor, 4 thirds times this 3 halves becomes 2 thirds. 4 times 2 is 8, and then 3 times 3 is 9. The correct answer 8 is 8, 9. Okay, great job. So I hope that you have learned something new today. That's it for today's lesson. See you next time. Thank you very much for watching.